Hey guys, today we're taking a look at my 6 Samurai deck. So 6 Samurais have been popular for a long time. A lot of people have really enjoyed them and I really wanted to make one. It's just taken me a while to get around to it. These days 6 Samurai decks are pretty simple as far as the builds go. It's usually pretty similar. A lot of the same cards are used. So I'll talk about what I'm doing and also talk about some of the other cards. Because there's a lot of support cards for the deck, but generally people only use specific ones to serve their certain strategy. 6 Samurais are usually about swarming and locking down your opponent, and they rely on getting more cards on the field in order to kind of protect themselves and kind of overwhelm the opponent. So first off, Kizan, very strong monster, 1800 attack, and also he can be special summoned very easily, and also he gains attack from other 6 Samurais. So very, very nice and very powerful. Kagemusha, staple in any 6 Samurai deck, just like most of these cards, but he's really nice because he allows you to kind of sort of counter spells and traps because he can make them the target himself, which is very nice, and he's also the tuner that you'll be using. So even if he gets destroyed, it's kind of a baiting kind of card and very nice with 1800 defense. Elder of the 6 Samurai, obviously just a very easy special summon. That's what he's here for, giving you access to 5-star synchros very easily, which is a big part of this deck, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. So Kageki, very nice card, just allowing you to special summon more 6 Samurais. You'll see the swarming kind of go on very easily, and also he becomes a real monster with another 6 Samurai on the field, so very nice. Keeping himself as a nice blocker, but also turning him into a 1700 attack monster, which is very nice. And then we have Grandmaster the 6 Samurai. Very nice to just throw one in this deck because he can be special summoned. You don't want to usually put too much of him in this deck, but that gives you access to a few different things, 7-star synchros, as well as just more powerful kind of field presence and giving you more cards from the graveyard. You'll notice there's not a lot of monsters in this deck because you're able to recycle and get monsters to your hand pretty easily. Hand of the 6 Samurai, very much like Gravekeeper's Descendant, allowing you to tribute 6 Samurais, which is very, very nice. And then Enishi, very nice, allowing you to kind of bounce cards and using your cards from the graveyard, which can be very nice. He can also get more attack, which is again very nice, and a lot of the 6 Samurais do similar things like that. And then we have Zanji. So Zanji can be very useful. Again, another 1800 beater. You definitely want to have access to a few different 4-stars because of how some of the spells work. So that could be very nice. And also, if a monster attacks him or something like that, and you have other 6 Samurais, just like most of the cards, you can destroy stuff. So very useful card. Again, having a variety of 4-stars, very important. And then we have 6 Samurai United. Just amazing draw power with this card. So definitely want to run this at 3. Very useful. Shen Smoke Signal, currently running this at 3. This should be over here. You can run it at 2 because you have Reinforcement of the Army as well. But with the low monster count, running this at 3 is pretty normal. Asceticism of the 6 Samurai, I think I said that right. Basically just allowing you to kind of recycle the monsters you're using. What's really nice about this is that you can kind of exchange like Elder for Kagemusha, which can be very useful, and certain things like that. Also, a lot of the other 6 Samurais, might have 1800 attack and things like that. So it could be very useful, and depending on which 6 Samurais you're running, you can do a lot of cool stuff with it. MST, Forbidden Lance, Reinforcement of the Army. Obviously, they're all warriors. Book of Moon, Dark Hole. Dark Hole is actually kind of a debate in this deck because you really don't want to lose your monsters. You need to have a good field presence. You need to have multiple 6 Samurais, so Dark Hole can be very troublesome. But I just feel like if you get overwhelmed, this is a very important card to have. So I'm running it. Definitely a choice. And then we have Double-Edged Sword Technique. Can be really nice, allowing you to get stuff from your graveyard and then XYZ or Synchro, which is very, very nice. Fiendish Chain. Musakani Magatam. Really, really great card, allowing you to negate a bunch of stuff. So this card really can annoy your opponent if they like to use spells and traps a lot. And there's other 6 Samurais that do similar things. And then a bunch of stable traps. Definitely want to protect your monsters. So for the extra deck, you're going to want to have a lot of 4-star XYZs, You can run 2 and 3 star XYZs. It's up to you. I'm not running them. It's not really how I play with this deck, but yeah, again, it's up to you. But you're going to have a lot of staples: Blackship, Maestroke, Utopia, Blade Armor Ninja, and Heroic Champion because you're running Warriors, so that could be very useful. And the 6 Samurai 4 star XYZ can be really nice to power up one of your 6 Samurais. So it can be pretty nice. Again, a 2500 attack 4 star, which is pretty nice. Biz Dweller, Gagaga Cowboy, pretty much staples. So one of the best things you have access to in this deck is this card, Shien, a 5 star synchro with 2500 attack and can negate a spell and trap one per turn, which is really, really good. And you can protect him by having other 6 Samurais on the field. Just a really, really good card, and that's why he's limited. And he's very important to get out. You're running a bunch of Earth monsters, so you can get these 2 cards out pretty easily. Natura to help with the lockdown, very, very powerful. And once you start bringing up, a lot of this lockdown stuff, your opponent's going to have a lot of trouble. Catastor, you have access to Black Rose. You have access to 8 stars, so Colossal Fighter can be an interesting one with all these warriors. And Scrap Dragon. A lot of these you can run, whatever you want for 8 stars and stuff like that. So it's up to you. Now for the side deck, again, side decks in my videos are not side decks for matches. They're just recommended cards that can also work with certain builds and stuff like that, and can work with the archetype. So Great Shogun Shien. This could be an interesting card to bring out. I just really don't think it helps you that much. Your opponent activating only 1 spell trap per turn, it can be sort of useful. I don't know. It requires a lot to get out, and once you lose it, there's not much to it. So personally, not what I'm running. Yet Yichi can be really interesting, allowing you to destroy set spells and traps. The thing is, I have enough kind of stuff to take care of that. But if you're fighting against certain opponents that are going to be using a lot of spells and traps, a lot of set ones, then this could be very interesting. Effect Veiler, not currently what I'm worrying about. I have my own things to deal with effects, but can be interesting and gives you access to some more synchros. There's some other synchros you can also use if you want to, like Driven Daredevil because you have warriors, and Stardust Dragon. Again, destruction effects can be annoying, but spending all the resources to get Stardust Dragon out, I wouldn't recommend it in this deck, but it's up to you. There's a lot of other 6 Samurai support. I'm just going to touch on them, just a small amount. I don't personally like field cards in this deck. It's not my goal in this deck to run field cards and try to do that. But if you do want to run them, Temple of the Six and Shien's Castle of Mist, I think Castle of Mist is better. But that is currently my opinion, allowing you to kind of annoy your opponent during the battle step. Cunning of the 6 Samurai can be interesting when you're focusing more on, XYZ and Synchro to kind of get what you want. It's kind of like the Fire King spell. 6 Scrolls of the Samurai. Again, if you're using Great Shogun Shien, that could be an interesting way to get him out. Shien's Dojo can also be pretty interesting, allowing you to kind of make use of all the special summoning and normal summoning you're doing to get more monsters from your deck. I've seen it run in some builds, currently not what I'm running. 6 Strike Triple Impact. If you're swarming very, very heavily, if you're probably running more monsters than me, can be an interesting card. But it's only on face-up cards. I mean, face-up or set. So, it's up to you. You kind of have to make a choice, and by that time, you might not really be able to do what you want to do. Some other of the 6 Samurai like support with the trap cards. Shien's Scheme, allowing you to special summon more 6 Samurais from your hand. Usually not a big deal because you have the ability to swarm, fine without this. Return of the 6 Samurai, also interesting if you're focusing more heavily on XYZ or Synchro. 6 Style Dual Wield. This is kind of an interesting one, but you're usually putting up more than 1 6 Samurai at once, so generally not what I really want to run. Rivalry of Warlords can be a really interesting card to kind of really annoy your opponent if they're using a lot of different types of monsters. Thing about this deck is you might want to be synchroing or XYZing different stuff, so currently not what I'm running, but it can help with the lockdown and stuff like that. So as far as 6 Samurais go, they're pretty fun, they're pretty obvious kind of how their style is. There's not a lot of room for kind of messing with the deck, but I'm definitely welcome to the idea of people messing with some of the other support. It's just that it's gotten so heavily tied down to the specific cards that you want to use that there's not a lot of room for kind of creativity in this deck, which is kind of a shame because there's a lot of support. But you guys can mess with it. You guys can let me know what your 6 Samurai decks are. Maybe they use some of the other cards. I'd definitely love to see that. Post in the comments below. If you like this video, you can subscribe or hit the like button. I'd really appreciate it. You can also check the playlists that are in the description to see a list of all the decks I've made so far and all the decks I have for this ban list. And you can also contact me. You can see my contact stuff in the description as well. But thank you guys for watching. I will see you later.